Okay, so I ordered a auto stir from Sir Pops-A-Lot, and let me show you what you get. So this is the main unit. Here is the top part. Has the motor on the top, magnetic holder there to hold the top up when it's opened and closed. You receive, this is your actual stir rod. You'll get that, which will go inside this here. You will get this, which connects to the end of this long cable here, is your power box. So you will get this little plug, plugs in there, and then this connects to your 12-volt battery. So if you buy the upgrade, which allows you to plug it into a wall outlet, you will get this converter box. So this converter box has a plug that in to there, and then plug it into the wall. So first thing you need to do, you will notice there's some brackets that are attached, and they're attached on the top with this, and you'll see a screw that goes through it, and it'll be like this on both sides. So first thing you want to do is take this screw out. So just undo this bolt here and take this out. Okay, so you do that on both sides, and then you'll want to rest this on the edge of your kettle. Okay, so there we have it. It is just resting on top. You can see there it is. It's not attached on there. So I got it where I think center is, but just to make sure, you're going to take your stirring rod here and put up in that shaft, and you're going to secure it with this little hex screw. So you want to put that in there and kind of secure it in place. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so I have the stir arm up in this coupler, and I have it tightened, just hand tightened down for now. Notice it is not in the center of my kettle, so you'll want to kind of scoot the whole unit just until you get it about in the center, so it lines up perfectly. So then you'll want to plug it in and turn it on and see if that's going to work out for you. So I have it lined up pretty well, still not attached. See, it's just resting on top. I have it plugged in. There is on this side a switch that will turn the unit on and off. So I turn it on, and there it is. So you can see I got a pretty good alignment. Stirring, it's not scratching. Okay, so that is where, turn it off. So that is where I'm going to secure the stir to my bowl, because everything works really well right there. And so now what you want to do is you want to get a Sharpie. So I have a Sharpie here, and you'll want to take your Sharpie and put a dot in that hole. Put a dot in that hole to line it up, so to mark that spot. And then you want to do the same thing over on this side. Dot. Okay, that marks where you want to drill your hole. Okay, so I hope you can see inside that little hole. I put a piece of duct tape down just to kind of hold my drill bit and to be able to see the Sharpie better. You don't have to do that. I just did it because it makes the Sharpie stand out a little bit better. So you can try drilling like that, but the aluminum's really hard, and it's probably going to be very difficult to do that. So what I did is I went to Harbor Freight and bought one of these. This is a automatic punch. This was $2.99. So what this does is you line up the punch with your mark, you push it in, and it is going to make a loud pop like that. So what that did is put a little indentation into the aluminum bowl. So that way it's going to make drilling that point out a lot easier. So you do that on both sides. And now you should be able to, and I can feel a nice little divot in the bowl. And so next I will probably start with a small drill bit and then work my way up, but you'll want to eventually make a hole big enough to accommodate the bolt that goes through. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I just took a fine drill bit and drilled a pilot hole. So you may be able to see that hole in there. Went pretty easily. There are some metal shavings, so you may want to wear some safety goggles. And you'll definitely want to clean out your bowl when you're done. So I'm going to repeat this for this side. Fear of screwing it up, I'm going to put the camera down. Okay, so I have a hole through that hole. So now I am going to use a bigger bit to widen the hole. It's just a little easier to start with a smaller bit and then widen it out with a bigger bit. So on to make the hole bigger, to remove the stir from the lid. Now that I have my pilot holes, I can just use those. So I did step it up to 3/16, and now I'm going with the 1/4 inch. Now that I have a nice size hole to work with, should be fairly easy. So now it is through. My bolt fits through there perfectly. Not a lot of room to move. So let's do the other side. Okay, so I have that side drilled. I can remove my tape. Going to clean up my kettle inside and out, and then we'll install the stir. Okay, so I've cleaned it, and I'll probably clean it 3 or 4 more times before I use it, just because I want to make sure that it is absolutely clean before I cook in it. So I don't want any risk of anybody getting any metal shavings in their popcorn. So I highly recommend you cook it several times, or clean it several times. But let's, now that we got our holes drilled, let's mount our stir. Okay, so you will set your stir back on top of your kettle, and then you will line up the holes like so. Line them up on both sides. Still should be good in there. Alright, so now that you have them lined up, you'll insert the bolts. So you put the bolt through this side and put the nut on the inside. So let me set this camera down so I can do that. Okay, so now I'm going to loosely tighten this one down until I get the other one tightened down, and see if I can show you in here what it looks like underneath. So there you can see the bolt coming through the side of the kettle, and it's just hand tightened at the moment. So I'm going to put the other bolt through the other side, and then we'll tighten them down with a wrench and a screwdriver. Okay, so you can see I have that bolt through that side, and this one through that side. I have tightened them down. Everything looks pretty centered. Turn it on again. Yep, everything's perfect. Alright, so you can see this is what it looks like when it's on. Looks beautiful. You can open the back, put your ingredients in. The magnet holds the lid up. You can open the front. The magnet holds the lid up. You can dump it with the stirrer on. It stays in place. you may need to adjust your spring inside to make lifting it a little bit easier, since you now have a stirrer on. The stirrer weighs, it doesn't weigh a lot, but it's fairly light actually for a stirrer. It's about 14 pounds. Maybe it feels actually a little bit less than that, but that's what I think the shipping weight was. So there you go. So now that you got it mounted, how do I clean it? Well, the way it's designed, there are these butterfly nuts here. You can take that off there, and there's one on the other side, which is right here. So you just loosen those up, and then the whole thing will lift off of that. So you can easily, you probably need to do it with two hands because you probably have to lift it simultaneously, but everything should lift off. So you can see it lifted from that side, and then you need to lift it on the other side. So then you can take it off, clean it, and then put it back down, put it back on. You just line up your screws and put everything back together. Okay, so I got it back on there, much easier with two hands, and tighten everything down. So yeah, so far I haven't used it in the actual field yet, as they say, but very happy with it so far. It's easily going to be a money saver, I think. If I'm not going to have burn marks like that anymore on my arm. So it's going to save my arm, it's going to save my tent, because I'm not going to have grease popping and flying everywhere and covering everything with grease. It's going to save my coworkers. So highly recommend it. It seems very well built. Customer service is so far outstanding. I email him, he sends me his phone number, I call him on the phone, ask him any questions. He's right there to answer it. So highly recommend it so far, and I'll let you know if I have any other issues. I do need to modify it a little bit, but everybody may not need to do that. So that concludes our installation for the automatic stirrer from Sir Popsalot. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up, and feel free to share this with your friends. If you're out in the Lexington, Kentucky area, stop by and see us. KentuckyKettlecorn.com. Thank you. See ya.